Over the past year since the release of Fortnite to the public, we have seen the game quickly rise and dominate the gaming scene over the past few months. But of recent, I've seen many, and I mean many, videos and posts on social media discussing the topic that Fortnite is beginning to die or is not as fun as it once was. Now I can nearly be certain that this is not true, that Fortnite is dying. However, I can agree that it is not as fun as it once was. All we have to do for a quick test to see how popular the game still is to look just at the Twitch and the streamers and see what they're playing and how many viewers. At any given moment, we can see that Fortnite is always at the top of Twitch and there's always tons of popular streamers still playing it. So if that is an indication to go off, Fortnite is still alive and is nowhere near dying just yet. However, I think that might also be due to a lack of other quality games on the market at the moment. But that may change coming soon. There is some big AAA games coming out like Battlefield and Call of Duty who have in many years before have been big contenders and have kind of died off recently to Battle Royale, but they're also bringing their own twist to the Battle Royale, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes for them. However, getting into the topic of this video, and we're going to be looking at Fortnite in particular. There was two main reasons I grew fond to Fortnite: the building and the frequent updates. When Fortnite came out, there was a gap for me the last 2-3 years. There was no fun games to play. I was buying all the recent CODs and Battlefields, and there was no big multiplayer that I enjoyed playing, mainly because I was just a console gamer. There was a new skill for me to learn in Fortnite, which made the game fresh, and there was a new skill gap. There was everything was brand new to me, so I enjoyed it, and I became addicted to gaming again. Overall, the game was clunky at the start, and updates became frequent, and they added fun additions and tweaks to the games, which improved every aspect of the game. When you look at the Halloween, the Christmas, first shot accuracy, when they brought skins into the game, everything was made to improve the quality of life, and it didn't hinder top tier players from getting better each day, and it didn't lower the skill gap. It allowed them to not plateau, and it gave them the opportunity to advance. As we've seen over the months, we've seen so many top tier players emerge from nothing to becoming the biggest streamers and YouTubers and winning these tournaments. It gave them the chance to do that. And as I said, the two things that I fell in love was the building and the frequent update. Now, several months later, the only thing that is ruining Fortnite for me at the moment, and for a lot of other people, are the unnecessary updates at this stage, the tweaks to the game. Some might argue that these tweaks to the game were needed and they weren't, they were for the better. But the large majority of people that I can see anyway, with all the YouTube videos and Twitter posts, Reddit posts, comments and videos, are people saying that there is no need to make half the changes to the game that they've done. A big thing for this is me, when they brought out a blog post before they made any of these big changes, they said that they were going to have a look at nerfing building and materials and stuff like that, because they were sick of seeing one style wins everything kind of play style. They were sick of seeing people building and shotgunning fights. That was it. That was all endgame evolved. But all that happens now, in my eyes, is you spawn in the first gun you want to find is a Tommy gun, the drum gun, or a heavy shotgun maybe, and the new compact SMG. That's all I look for really. And throughout the rest of the game, you're just going to be pressing the shoot button and spamming walls, or vice versa. You're going to be defending it, and that's really all the meta is at the moment. So they kind of contradicted themselves there by saying that they didn't want just only one playstyle. They tried to change it. I'll give them credit, but it didn't work. And there's kind of is only one meta at the moment, one playstyle. It's spray and pray. So I'm hoping they change it. But that is another question. Are they going to change it? I've been seeing for a long time now that people are unhappy and they're asking Epic to revert their changes, or to go back to Season 3 when it was the game was most fun for many. Season 2, Season 3, the first 3 seasons were the best 3. The last 2 for me anyway were, I have to agree, haven't been that fun. I kind of stopped playing for Season 4 and I just came back for Season 5 recently. And that brings up the question, Are Epic updating this game too much? I know I said earlier the main reason I grew fond of Fortnite was the building and the frequent updates that brought new things to the game. And I will admit that nearly every update that Epic brings out, there is a new bug, and each season has always had something wrong with it. But at the start, I'd started Fortnite or halfway through its lifespan, we didn't mind this because they were fun updates. They were what we wanted, you know. And I have to bring up the idea of, does Fortnite need a period or a couple of weeks, a month, a whole season of just stripping the game back to the basic not the fundamentals. You don't have to go back to season 1 or anything. You just need to stop what they're doing, to look at the game, to fix out all the bugs, to maybe reverting a few changes that people aren't happy with. Should the resources be spent adding stuff into the game, working on building the lore and the storyline for next season? Does that hurt the game? Does that take away? Is that the reason we're getting bugs each time we update the game, because they're divided, the studio is divided? An answer to these problems, I think, should be adding a technical test server. I think this could be very beneficial, even for like a week or two before a new season comes out or a new update, just to get the feedback. Because even 1 to 2 days, that's all it takes for us to find out all the bugs and glitches between the ghost steps, the audio, games crashing, building lag, buildings not loading in. You know, it'll be found out very quickly. I think that a test server would give them the chance to test everything out, obviously, but and then they can fix it and delay updates if they need to, just have the main game that the majority of players are going to play is constantly as good as it can be. Personally, I think that the resources are being spent too much on other aspects of the game, like the skins and new weapons, and I don't think that they're heading in the right direction. I think they're hurting themselves by updating the game as frequently as they are at the moment, which at the beginning was their one unique thing. For being a console game and being in early access, they were able to pump out updates without having to get permission and being verified and stuff like that. But I think they need to take a look at what they've done and how they grew to be so big, and maybe have second thoughts. I strongly believe that Epic are hurting themselves in the esports scene, since they're so wanting to commit by hosting all these tournaments and pumping millions of dollars into prize money. They're directly contradicting themselves in a hypocritical manner by catering to the lower skilled players of the games and hurting and making the higher skilled players plateau, like not giving them the chance to be as good as they could be. Remember the time when skill-based matchmaking was brought up and everyone went crazy? I think I would have preferred a small skill-based matchmaking system to put in place, you know, a loose enough one, not very rigid like a ranking system, just, you know, something keep kind of newer players for a certain period of time. I think I would have preferred that than all these nerfs we've seen in the past few months, which have really hurt the game. And I can probably think a lot of people would too. They would have preferred to play, you know, I doubt it would have been that too strict of matchmaking, so it couldn't have affected that much. I think people would rather that. The question we have to ask now is, should we be worried that Epic Games they must see all the complaints on Reddit and the feedback the bigger streamers are giving? Should they listen to the hardcore gamers and go back to Season 3 Fortnite? Should they listen to us? I firmly believe that if Ninja and company were to stop playing, and Tfue and imagine all those people stop playing Fortnite, would the game survive? I absolutely do not think the game would survive. I feel like it's fun, yes, but it's currently still living off the hype and fun that we're clinging on to since Season 2 and 3. We don't want to let it go because we knew how much fun the game could be, and we're just hoping every day. I feel like every day I see someone on YouTube, Twitter or Twitch talk about bringing the game back, and I don't see why or how Epic haven't listened yet. If all these big streamers decide that Battlefield's Battle Royale is amazing or COD's one is amazing and they just jump ship, absolutely the whole player base will just dwindle from Fortnite, because there's no hype around it. People like to jump on the bandwagon, and that's why Fortnite is still so popular. So they're going to have to, in my opinion, I hope to do, because I want the game to go back. I haven't had this much fun in gaming for a long time before this. Since Modern Warfare 3, I think, was when I was last addicted to a game. And I'm making this because I'm sad about what's happening. I'm hoping they can change it back. I know a lot of people are hoping to change it back. And I just hope Epic, there's a lot of hoping there, I said, but I really do mean it. I hope Epic do listen to people, but it's not promising because we just had an update there recently which didn't address any of the problems. So who knows, we're just gonna have to keep an eye out. But let me know what you think. Do you think that they should change it back? Do you think the Fortnite is still living off the hype and the fun that we knew we could have on the game, and we're hoping for that to come back? Let me know in the comments. Leave a like if you did, dislike if you didn't, and I'll see you in the next one.